What's going on, y'all? Welcome back, episode 12 of the walkthrough. Pick it up here in Eastern Liurnia from, yes, so we did go to the Church of Vows to start going over our other new spells. So let's go ahead and head on out. We did get our decks up to 15, so we'll be starting to get that arcane up a bit. The reason I mention that is I like to, kind of touch topic on, builds and how, everything's going from time to time, especially as we go along. We're going to be running into more spells and higher spell requirements and stuff like that. It is important to address. But yeah, with our build being arcane, our item discoveries can go up too. So hopefully we can start finding some armor sets just from drops. So this is the old place ruins. These guys are highly annoying. Their attack combos make it really hard to get guard counters in. You're gonna have to ride out that long ass attack on your shield. And see, I got one in there, but I don't know, it's kind of just getting used to it. These guys are super annoying. I'm gonna let you go now. They also have archers that shoot magic arrows, and they seemingly just don't miss. Like they just don't miss. They like home in on you almost. So it's gonna be fun. Good thing is, it's only this little section. Then we won't really see them too often to like the underground and just here and there. But yeah, very very annoying enemy type, in my opinion. So we're gonna have multiple archers to the left trying to shoot at us. We want to try to take these guys down, try to get to dodge range. As you see, my guard counter missed. By the time I landed, he still got a hit too. So actually going pretty smoothly thus far. I'll take it. You know what I mean? I'll take it. I don't know of anything this way, but I've never looked. It's hard to believe, but yeah, I've never looked. Still little areas I've never looked behind in this game after, well over 1,000 hours. Alright, so now it's going to be time to cross this. Let's see if we can play it carefully here. There's going to be multiple archers, as I said. There's usually one on that structure, too, though. I don't know what happened to him. Heal up, we're right by the side of Grace. It's stuck to die now. Yeah, but typically there's one sitting on here. He may have fell off. He may have came at us. We may have pulled him away. I'm not sure, but yeah. Yeah, look at the damage of this shit. Now, thankfully, not every arrow they fire are magic, but it's a lie. It's like every other one. Now that we got them out, we're going to go back this way. Go ahead and get our side of Grace. As I mentioned, I always try to make it a habit to go ahead and, always rest in between what we're doing. Keep an eye on those heals. Really important. So as you go out, if you go to the right, there's like a little ledge over here with, the warming so much different. It's like a madness. Yeah. Frenzied Flame Stone. So that heals you over time as well, but uses FP to continuously heal Chaos followers. Now, when you get over here, you're going to see another Mausoleum. But the first thing we want to do is we have no need for that right now. We have no need for that. And as far as mausoleums go, I'm not going to go around and drop every single mausoleum in the game and tell you which boss remembrances to duplicate. You guys know mausoleums, you know how they work, you know what remembrances you're going to want to use, so that's up to you guys. That has nothing to do with trophies or the walkthrough or getting through the game, progressing the game. That's only duplicating whichever boss remembrance you want to use, so I'm going to leave that to you guys. But go ahead and get your Spiral Horn shield. It's a small shield. Obviously, it's got better parry timings, but more importantly, that shield actually boosts your resistances to every single status. And there are some fucked up areas we have to go through in this game, such as the Lake of Rot. And when we get there, we'll be using that to boost our resistance to rot, because you don't have your horse, you gotta walk around in it. And there's other items we're gonna pair with it as well. But just keep that in mind. If you're going through a poison area, if you're going through a rot area, that shield will, make it take longer to, be inflicted. It does not stop you. It does not give you immunity. Pretty much when there's a status effect, just to talk about this really quick, when there's a status effect, you see a bar on your screen. Now that bar, when it gets full, you get inflicted, right? But when you raise your resistances, it gives you a bigger bar, meaning you'll have more time before you get inflicted. So it doesn't make you immune, but those items are extremely important. Because you could use it to your advantage and you have more time to do things. And while we're on that, I forgot to talk about this. This raises vitality. Vitality governs death blight. So as you see, vitality governs resistance to the effects of death. Death blight is extremely rare. Only certain enemies use it. But like I said, it doesn't matter what your health is. When that bar fills, you are dead. You'll get cursed, and there's just no coming back from that. Now we're gonna go on up, work our way around to the left side here. Kind of do a little loop. So what we're looking for is this little pathway through these rocks. You're gonna drop down. You'll be able to grab another resistance talisman here. Stalwart, Orm, Charm. I'm pretty sure that's bleed and frost resistances, but let's double check. Yes. So that's robustness. So it gives you more robustness. Robustness governs resistance to blood loss and frostbite. So if any enemies are doing that, or PvP, you're fighting someone that does that stuff, right? So keep that in mind. From there, we're going to drop downhill, get your H relief, watch out for your room bear. Now, if you did not take the path we took in our run around in the Earnia, when we got all of our upgrades to get down to Bellum Highway, this is the only way to Bellum Highway I know about besides from a spirit spring down in the lake. So there are 3 ways here. So this is the path I know. This is the only one I knew for a very long time. Few playthroughs. I guess I just didn't pay attention to it. I mean, when you're not used to this huge open world and all the paths and all the ways, you're not familiar with all the other ways. You're not comfortable with them. So even seeing them, I guess it just doesn't really register. So for my first playthroughs, that was the only path I was aware of. There is a spirit spring down in the lake, right kind of by where the tunnel is. They can get you up to Bellum Highway. And then there's also the route we took, where you go over by Carrier Manor, go past the lake, and there's like that collapsed pillar that gets you across. So that's the way we happened to take when we did our early run for upgrades. That's going to take these guys out. And we're about to go up and take out a boss. So this is going to be another Erdtree avatar. It's all the same. Dodge their big hits. They get a charged heavy in between, break their stagger, get a critical, put them down. If they slam their staff into the ground, they're going to fire a bunch of those projectiles at you. And with that, try to do this real quick. Get where we can summon, then hit that to get our mana back. But yeah, so if you throw the staff in the ground, all them projectiles are coming at you, right? So you got to keep that in mind. And try to hold up your shield and walk to the side. Those things will melt your health bar, and then on top of that, he's coming at you trying to get a big hit in as well. So that's the one thing I'd watch out for. Everything else is extremely telegraphed and easy to, dodge. Now, I like to use my summons, but I don't see them. Where the fuck do they go? They disappear on me? They de-trigger? The whole thing was a waste? It's alright. If you're worried about these guys, that guy could even take them down himself. He does a lot of AoE shit, so... Fucking combos, man, are so annoying, bro. I can't stand these guys. And most annoying enemy in the game. They're not. They're up there, but they're not. They're really not. I just can't stand them. Alright. Let's go on and get into our boss fight. Gotta lead with a big attack. Butt slam. As I said, he does attack, you dodge, you get a charge, chill. Don't get greedy. Sometimes he'll do a third, so just watch out for it. There you go, 3 charge. Using fire is going to help you here. Obviously, it's a 3-type enemy. Ooh, that was close. There you go. I don't think he hit us once. So like I said, it's not too bad, Same thing, dodge, charge, get big attacks and where you can, use fire. He's obviously weak to that. Now these are worth to mention. These are our first tiers for the flask are actually going to boost certain damage types. You have Magic Shroud and Crack Tier, Lightning Shroud and Crack Tier, and Holy Shroud and Crack Tier. Now we're going to get one we can use for our build, but it's not going to come till Kaled, and that is the Fire Shroud and Crack Tier. So those are obviously going to boost those damage types. If you're using a magic weapon, a holy weapon, or a weapon with lightning, that damage will be boosted. Spell damage from those effects will also be boosted. That's boosting those effects just in general, you know. So do keep those in mind. As of right now, so far we've only been in, survivability. In fact, I didn't even talk about Opaline Bubble Tier, and I cannot believe I did not talk about that. So we've had this for a while. Since Weeping Peninsula, the last, Erdtree Avatar we fought, he dropped Opaline Bubble Tier. So Opaline Bubble Tier puts a bubble around you. You can take any one attack. It does not matter if it's a super big special attack or just a light attack or an arrow grazing. It doesn't matter. So if you know how to use that, it can be devastating. Now what I use it for is there certain bosses like the Cemetery Shade where you just cannot get a heal in, right? So because of that, you can put that tier that heals half your health with Opaline Bubble Tier. So if you're trying to drink and they hit you, it's going to pop that bubble, but you still get the health. So that's the strategy I like using it for, early on in the game. To make sure you get some health, because, they hit you and they pop the bubble, you're protected. Now, it'll take a little bit of health, but when I mean a little bit, when I say a little bit, I mean a little bit. It's taking, like, I don't know, your health bar won't even move a quarter inch, like it's a nick. So it is pretty nice. This guy uses Death Blight. If you get hit too much, you're dead. But that's kind of how, combat works in general. That you see, even one hit gave us about a third of that Death Blight. That's how stasis work. You see that bar. If that bar's filled, you're dead. You got about halfway there, so you're going to be careful. Damn, we got the Knight's Greatsword and the Eclipse Crest Greatshield. Eclipse Crest Greatshield is a little bit resistant to Death Blight, so you can use that to protect yourself. You're going to need the strength to wield it. And that Greatsword's a phenomenal Greatsword. One of the better ones in the game. Beast Eye Quivers, so you already know there's a Death Root here. Matter of fact, I was going to wait to turn them in, but just get some walkthrough, I guess, would be better. Let's go on out and jump over to the Bestial Sanctum and get the next incantation he wants to give us. As I mentioned before, Bestial incantations are meant for pure melee builds that want to use a little bit of faith stuff, right? Because you only need like 10 faith and 12 faith for these, so it's not much at all. So just go and talk to him, turn in what you got. Eventually you're going to have to fight this guy when you give him too much, and then things will go back to normal. He's a hell of a fight. He's one of the bosses in the game. The main boss is at the end. And he's one of the hardest fights there is. It's Malekith. I don't know if you guys heard of that or not, if you haven't played, but he's very, very serious enemy. So now you have the Bestial Vitality. That's going to be a heal. Alright, so moving forward, we are going to have a skeleton catacomb, but this is going to be a little bit different than what you're used to. This first one, he's a normal skeleton. You kill him. Smack him again while he's down. If you see ones that are like enshrouded by like white and black magic, there's a guy controlling them. So you don't fight the skeleton, you kill the guy. Bad thing about it is until you kill the guy, they're going to keep coming back and back and back. So you see it's got that smoke over him. So what you're going to do is you're going to ignore him. Like I said, so you kill him, he keeps coming back and back and back. And that's bad. But the good news is there's multiple skeletons. We find the one guy, he drops all of them at once. So, that's kind of the good thing about it. So while we are going to get back to that, I wanted to get rid of the skeletons first. Now we're going to go over here, use the Stone Sword Key. This is for mage builds. You're going to get a one-handed axe, does magic, does physical, and the Ash of War summons like 2 or 3 skeletons, 2 from the side, 1 from the front. It comes out and just do 1 attack down. I don't find it actually great, but if we want to collect everything, go. Get some arrows. So this catacomb has 2 boss fights, and it can throw you off because you're going to fight one boss. And what we want to do, we're going to ride this up. But you fight one boss, and you see the little light that you can travel to get out of the catacomb, and that's going to be a mistake, and you end up missing. You have the other boss, and then the death root as well. So we're going to run. Oh, they both got me. There's another one to your right. Put him down. There they go. I mean, you do take quite a bit of damage here, unfortunately. So, go down here, you're going to progress the place, but you'd end up missing a boss. So, because of that, and there's a quest item, I think you could still do this quest without the item, but, you know, let's get all the stuff and not take the chance. And you can summon here. I did not know that for a long time. I was just ran right past it. But you can summon here if you want. D again. I don't think it's needed. If you guys want to, go for it, you know. It's just another, it's actually using Death and Death now. The Death and Death takes a part of your health you cannot get back. Later, try to get some buff. And as you see, it'll just dissolve your health bar. Look at our health bars. So when we go to heal, we cannot get that black section or that gray section back. And remember, I told you before, this enemy can get backstabs from the front. So be careful for that. And there you go. This is going to get you a new dagger. This is going to critical attacks restore mana, and the other one, critical attacks restored health. That's a Black Knight print. That's a quest item involving Rogier back at the Round Table Holding. Also, Thea. Rogier talks about this mark, and Thea gives you a map to this catacomb to find this mark. We got it on our own, but that's typically how it would work. Well, I mean, if you haven't been talking to her, you're going to probably run to this place before you run into that piece of dialogue from her. Make sure you clear the note off your screen, or you will not be able to attack. There's going to be 2 skeletons here. Gonna pull this. There's gonna be a few of these big ass crabs that pop up. There are upgrades or not. I mean, usually you could, you know, put them down as they're coming up. Of course, when he started coming up before he got to it, just take to it. There we go. We have gone through all of our heals. So we're probably gonna die to the boss for the first time. It's okay. We haven't really died to any bosses yet, so I'll take it. There's some really hard boss fights in this game your first time, but usually you'll die more just to general progression than you will a boss. There's enemies everywhere, you know. Probably die to falling more than anything, more than anything else at all. There's gonna be another crab over here, and we'll get our next rune arc. We've got a few rune arcs by now. That's what you need to actually use your great rune and get the effects associated with your great rune. As I said, they're great, you know, it'd give us a bunch of stats. I guess we could use one just to show it off. You see health went up, stamina went up, mana went up. But when we die, we lose the effect of the Great Rune. And that's what, you know, that's what sucks. And also, I usually equip, I just keep these on. So by the end of the game, you should have between 42 and 50 of them typically. Now, that could change because certain enemies drop them and it's a drop chance. But from just the ones you find around the world, if you're like me and you don't ever use them, like I never use them, just kind of show you guys how they work. But yeah, if you don't use them, you'll have at least, like, I've never had under 42. I know it's a really specific number, but it's usually around that. Sometimes more. Alright, so it's now time to go for the boss. But we will actually be able to heal because honestly, our site of grace is right here. Not heal, but you know, refresh. So our site of grace is right here. Let's just run back. So this is going to be a very annoying fight. So you guys remember the cemetery shade. So now, this is probably the worst cemetery shade in the entirety of the game. So this cemetery shade has multiple, and I mean multiple skeletons with him. Because of that, I mean, there's multiple ways you could do this. You could try to draw them all away like we did with the imps and the big cat statue guy. But I'm just going to try to go in here, and how I usually would do this is, actually, if you have Desk Poker, you could do your L2, R1, and do that stream. He'll sit in there and just, like, one-shot him and die. We can't do that ourselves, but he's also really weak to Holy. So I'm going to try to go in here and just ignore this fucker. Or ignore all the skeletons, and just hopefully land our Sacred Blade I support something like that. A lot going on, but like I said, we're just ignoring everything. No! It's okay, I got my heal on there. That's what I was warning you about. He's either going to do two things. He's going to lock you in place with that, and then eat on you, or he's gonna do that and just whack you to death with his short sword, his curved short sword. So, Prince sorcerer, ashes, and another death room. Now we can jump back to the Bestial Sanctum again, and go ahead and turn this in. Oh, we got a level. Let's go ahead. Start getting this arcane up a bit. Asher for Beast Roar. It just like throws out a scream. So from there we got all this wrapped up. You can't actually progress any further here. So what we're gonna do from this point is, should we knock this up first? Yeah, it's gonna knock out the crystal tunnel. It's kind of off on its own. It's easily missed. You'll kind of just forget about it. So because of that, we're gonna go knock it out now. And we came here early on just to run through and get a few stones. If you guys remember, we got a weak to blunt damage and they're weak to fire. We've already got the Somber 2 and the Somber 3. It's your first time here. There's a Somber 2 here. Somber 3 is behind the altar, so make sure you grab that. We're just going to save this for last, but I want to make sure we fit it in. Like I said, it's actually really easy to miss this because you're kind of working up everything on top of the hill. This is actually down in the lake. But when we do the top of the lake, you're doing all like the open area parts. It's kind of just like pushed in the back, you know what I mean? So, probably better off to do it now. Over there, if you take that around, it's kind of like a little trick jump you can do to get a Smithing 3 and a Somber 3. That's a shortcut we'll unlock here in a bit. Alright, this is where it kind of becomes a pain in the ass. If you thought a guy's firing projectiles at you, there's one underneath where we are right now, and then there's one across. Oh, you already got it off. Fucker. So back in here, there's two Smithing 3s. We've already got them. Try to use that post. They also have a chance to drop, I want to say it's Smithing 2s. At least it'll give us a chance to get a few more Smithing 3s as well. And this is a really important tunnel to do, as it will be our first bell bearing, allowing us to buy infinite amount of 1s and 2s, so you can at least get any weapon you want up to plus 6 at any given point in time. So you gotta go, pay for them, but at least you have access just to buy them whenever you want. You could easily just go and farm up souls, it's not really a problem. Now, we're gonna go and take this down, look for your drop right here. You're gonna take this through and get a somber 2. And then just some crafting stuff. And that's where we're going. But we can't go this way to get to it unless you want to drop and die. You know what I mean? Unless you want to drop and die. Roll there, there, turn around, roll there. If you're dexterant trying to use some daggers, we're actually going to get a magic dagger. Split damage of physical and magic. No, sir. Alright, then over here will be our shortcut. Goodbye. Just kind of get on it and get off. We don't need to ride it up, you know. So I do not believe we'll have enough 3s to bring another weapon up, but we should have a good start. I mean, we could with everything we grab at the store bell. Oh yeah, we might. Only needs 2 more. Yeah, we'll have enough for 1 more weapon. So it would be pretty rare after this point. So whatever you choose, you guys already seen how rare the upgrade mats are. We brought up a weapon at the start. Here we are, 12 hours in, and we have not had the materials to do a second really. So as far as you can all the way up to like +10. So make sure you use your choices wisely, whatever you're using, as far as regular weapons especially. You're not going to get the materials like that. You know, you can, but it's going to take time. You know what I mean? You won't be able to upgrade weapons whenever you want. So make sure it's something you can use for the whole game, or, you know, a long enough portion of it. You'll find other weapons you like too, but the same. I'm going to hit him from range. These guys start, you know, spazzing out on you. It's never fun. Alright, so here's going to be your magic dagger. Here's going to be your crystal knife. Alright, going in this room, there's going to be a pile of these guys down here, but there's also going to be a pile of rooms, or a pile of smithing stones. He's a bit bigger. Thank you. Oh, that's not shield. Look at that. 3 smithing 3s, 1 somber 1. That's all we're doing, just kind of going around making sure we got everything on. We're getting pretty close to the end of this place. So after that, we can come over here and get that same spell they're using where they're like dig in the ground, shatter earth, and when we get to Caleb, there'll actually be a upgraded version of that. I don't think they're great spells. I think they're early on spells that you could use for a bit, you know, but keep that in mind. Now we're going to take this. There's going to be another roll-off point. Somber 3. Now there's one. Like I said, we might find, you know, 1 or 2 here and there throughout this region. But I just know there wasn't many. By the time you get to Caleb, you start finding them all over the place. Alright, so you're going to want a blunt weapon here, guys. It does not matter. It don't matter if it's upgraded. So using the Morning Star that we picked up back in Weeping Peninsula will be better than any other weapon you have. Even unupgraded, I assure you. Where do we put it? because these guys are very weak to strike damage. Whatever does strike damage, that does strike. That does pierce. I wish we had the stat requirements for that. Oh, there it is. So because of that, if you use a regular weapon, you're just going to keep hitting this guy and hitting this guy and hitting this guy, and you're going to feel like he's just invincible and he doesn't take any damage. But if you were to sit here and use Morning Stars, you're actually doing damage. With the regular weapon, see the health that came off? That would not be coming off. Nothing would. Not really. You'd be doing like 8 damage or something. Then what would happen is you eventually will break his stagger. Then, after your critical, he'll start just taking damage. But with this, he's actually taking damage every hit before we break his stagger. There you go. That's going to get you your first bell bearing. It's going to jump back to the round table hold. Okay, so time to go over our first bell bearing. So offer bell bearing, smithing miner's bell bearing 1. So now when you go to purchase, you have infinite 1s and infinite 2s. So getting all the bell bearings throughout your playthrough is going to let you bring up every weapon up to plus 24 for regular or plus 9 for sombers. The very final upgrade mats are, there's only a certain amount each playthrough. But we want to get all those before we get to the DLC, because when we get to the DLC, you're going to want to make sure every weapon you use is maxed out, or you're not going to do well over there. That is set upon, like, past the level of the end of the main game, so very, very high level enemies over there. So because of that, you want to make sure if you're using a weapon, it's fully maxed out, so before you get your, the DLC, and we will do DLC prep too, making sure we have everything we can have that's going to help everybody out when we get there, right? But that's one of the big things. So that's going to change it to nightfall, since you get to the east, right out of the Lucaria gates here at Bellum Highway. Take out our next Knight's Cavalry. So that's where we're going, because we can't get up any farther over here, so. This one hits really hard too, guys. Good God. Yeah. So they're annoying, really cowardly. They're always like running away. Try to get behind him, get that critical. There it is. About time, a little right. There we go. So that's going to be him. Knight Rider Glaive, phenomenal strength weapon, basic weapon, really good weapon. Then Giant Giant does exactly what you see. You kind of just thrust your weapon straight up, like in the air, and it'll fuck up really, really big enemies. Now from this point, we already have this, but go grab your Side of Grace at Bellum Church if you don't already have it. And this next area we're going through can be a bit tricky. So if you can get a level, try to do so. We're up at 20,000 now. We have an NPC boss fight, Madness Zone. It's not hard to get killed here. It really isn't. So because of that, we're going to make sure we get our levels. So if you talk to Hiatus, she's going to ask you for
Have you ever heard of
fingerprint grapes.
I would truly love
She's already gotten her Shreeries, so she won't ask for this unless you've handed over all 3. So we've already covered that twice. I'm not going to cover it again. Just know, if you handed it over all 3, she'll be here at Bellum Church. And then you'll get that piece of dialogue where she's asking for a fingerprint. Great, and that's kind of what we're trying to do now. However, we have to head uphill to do this, and we have some stuff to take out before we do that. So we're going to go ahead and clear out this camp. We're going to go ahead and clear out everything around the Dectus lift, right? So best thing to do is just run past all this shit. You have catapults going off that shit. You got a bunch of guards, knights, foot soldiers, and everything else. So while we're here, if you go to the left side of the Dectus lift, you'll be able to get a Somber 3 from a Scarab. I was like, unless we already got it, I didn't remember this part of that. There you go. Other than that, just like bats and crafting stuff, you can, you know, clear it if you want to. Then we're going to go up into the Dectus lift and grab a Side of Grace for later on in the game. Actually, we will be going to Altus just for a quick run here shortly when we do Vari's quest, because I know that its quest online has been covered on pretty much every guide and walkthrough, but no one ever shows offline from what I've heard. So I'm going to cover online and offline, so whether you have been paid for PlayStation Plus or not, you were able to complete Vari's questline and get over to Mogwin's Palace about 50 hours sooner and get some really good stuff that's going to help you out. So from here, let's go on down into our camp. The only thing down here is like one weapon and some little loose stuff, but still, want to make sure we clear out everything. And we still have plenty of time, so we're looking good. So I'll go to the right side first. He's one of the biggest reasons, because we do not want him blowing the horn and, you know, signaling a bunch of guys. They're already here, but we don't want them all on us at once. He's got a good ass amount of health, don't he? Thank you. Alright. That's him. And there is a Scarab hanging off the cliff over here, but it's just a heal one. There's no, like, you know, sombers or spells or incantations or ashes of horror. You know, nothing really worth your time. Alright, now the biggest problem here is going to be this gentleman. So they seem really hard. If you try to hit the side of them, hit the front of them, it's going to do nothing. What you want to do, if we can get behind them. So just go behind them, get a critical. But to be honest, they have a lot more health. You know, like that seems easy enough, but they have so much health, it's crazy. But yeah, I mean, they're worth a good amount of runes. They're not too bad to kill. So now after that, we're going to go over to the left side of the camp. Well, it's the right side if you're going towards the Dectus lift, but since we came down from it, it'll be our left side. Drop your armor, fucker. I want his armor. Go after him first. He's obviously one of the biggest threats. His spear actually shoots out like magic projectiles and stuff too. Come over here, grab your great mace. That's like a one-handed strength weapon. It's really nice though. It's like a faster option. Just like a hammer pretty much. Same moveset. But it's a solid choice. I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. After my first playthrough on New Game Plus, fully upgraded it, and did okay. Alright, make sure you drop down and get your stuff. Head back to Dectus lift, and then we're going to go on out to the left. If you guys are picking up any background noise, I do apologize. everyone's at my house. It's kind of like heading into work, which I got to do here shortly too. So they're kind of on their way out. So if you guys picked up anything, I do apologize. I do my best trying to find the best time to record these episodes, but it can get a little tricky sometimes with life. You know what I mean? It's just how it is. So hopefully y'all can forgive that. Alright, so we're going to take these rats out. Now you're seeing that they're inflicted with madness. So madness, that gate fills up on you. And it's taking a portion of your mana and your health. Yeah, it's filling up, because there's a tower up there. These guys are all doing some little ritual. And because that's going to make progressing here really hard. So, typically what you would do is just work your way straight up. Go up this way. Go up the hill, get to the tower. Now we could end this by killing the guys up top. They're summoning that. But I do want to at least hit these items. But instead of going straight, what we're going to do is we're going to get to the left here. Get on your horse. Probably going to get procs one or two more times. Not much you can do about it. But if you get to the left, drop down. There's a spirit spring that's going to put you right by the side of Grace. The best thing about this is if we die, we don't have that huge ass run back. And it's not exactly hard to die here. We're just going to keep on going straight. Like I said, one or two times, you know, at least. One or two more times. It's not far, but I want to get away as fast as I can. Alright, get here. Let's reset aggro on this. Yeah, so all we got to do is get up on top of the tower, kill like the 5 guys are up there, and it's permanently done. It's not going to come back. The problem is all the rats right over here are inflicted with madness too. So if they bite you and before you can get to this ladder, which is, you know, possible to happen, it's not going to be good. The madness is going to inflict, and you're going to be stun locked. And they bite you like one time after that, you're kind of fucked. So just kind of run, try to get your eyebrows on that ladder. That's not too bad, right? For whatever reason, as soon as you're under this, it doesn't really fill up anymore. So that's, you know, that's what we're aiming to do, is to get under these guys. You go over here, get another madness incantation. So if you want to do a madness build, we can pretty much put a whole madness build together for you right here. As far as the base game, you'd only be missing one incantation, but these are like most of them right here. So that's Tower Shabriri. It'll inflict you with madness, and there are talismans that'll boost your damage if you're inflicted by madness. You get one in the DLC. But yeah, they're done. This is not coming back. But as far as the actual madness build goes, you're about to get a madness spear. You got your first madness spell. There's another madness spell coming up that actually shoots a laser out of your eye. It's really cool. So like you can put together a whole madness build right now, and you could come to this, you know, at the beginning of the game if you just went, you got enough levels and health to actually withstand all this stuff, and just put a couple of upgrades with, you know, the routes and stuff I've talked to thus far. Just putting you know, a few upgrades into your weapon and getting enough health. You can come get this right at the start and do a madness build. You know what I mean? I like kind of going through the game slowly and making the journey. Because if you have the whole build you want right at the start, what fun is that? You know, there's nothing to look forward to. You got it all. You know? I mean, it's cool to have some stuff, right? Early on in the game, but you do want to have something to look forward to. Just going forward, take out these gentlemen. All these guys have flame of frenzy spells. As you see, and magic. So that talisman is called Shabriri's Will. It's going to attract enemy aggression. So if you're using a summon, the enemy's going to go after you and not your summon. But I like summons for the distraction. Let me be the damage, because I don't know. I don't think you should use a summon to get damage. You know what I mean? They're more just to distract, so you could actually get a heal in or get a buff in. And that's how they're used best. So you can try to ride your horse. You're going to get kicked off because you're about to be invaded by Vike. And that's the spear you can get, is Vike's War Spear. But we don't want to fight this guy. We're going to go up here and rest. We're just going to run right past him. Then we're going to fight him. That way, if you die, you know, like just like before, you don't have a run back, right? It's just smarter and safer to do it this way. Now, what would probably be okay if I can put out a lot of damage. He's got a very big explosive AoE, and that's kind of where you want this weapon, to be honest. Yeah, I'm already almost dead. I mean, like I said, you can't get this at the beginning of the game. You're gonna have to be a little bit decent, though. You know, you already see what we're dealing with. Oh, I was trying to get that back stab. Alright, come on, Vikey. There you go. That's Vike. That's your fingerprint break. And there is Vike's War Spear. Now, I would love to use this. I would. Problem is, I mean, we'd have the dex, but we would not have the faith. Or do we have the faith? No, because the faith is up at 18. Our faith isn't at 18. Oh, because of our great rune. But if we did want to use it, we could put the faith talisman on right here, and we could rock it for a bit and get it upgraded. It is really, really, really good weapon. In game, this thing does over 800 AR. So it causes madness build up at 65, does fire and physical, but during PvE, during the actual game itself, it's only getting physical and fire, as madness is not a thing you could use on regular enemies. You're going to grab your maiden set, then upgrade our flask. And at this point, there's one thing left to do, and then we'll be wrapped up for this section. So looking at the time, 47 minutes. I do believe this is going to work out perfectly. Like I said, 2 episodes to do this whole coast. We're at the end of our 2nd episode here, and all we have left to do is just go grab some stuff. Now, you can fight the stuff over here, but it's not hard to get killed, so I would just go over here, grab the scarab, grab your runes from the graveyard, and be done with it. So there's your frenzied burst as a laser beam that fires out of your eyes, or of the madness build. So you have was that 3 incantations and a madness sphere at this point. So like I said, and there's only 4 incantations in the entirety of the game. The last one you get in a very hidden secret area, that is only side content, right? But you do need it to get a platinum. Don't need it to. It's in Consecrated Snowfield. Consecrated Snowfield, like I said, is a very hidden area. You can't get there without a certain medallion. That's why I say ignore all this shit. Look at this. Proc madness twice in like 5 seconds. It's not worth your time. But yeah, so Consecrated Snowfield is a secret area. You need to get, over there for your platinum trophy. But as far as like beating the game, you could not see Consecrated Snowfield or the Halo Tree, and you still beat the game just fine. You know what I mean? You get the credits and all. But for your platinum, you do have to go over there. And there is one more madness spell there, which is called Unendurable Frenzy. It's pretty much the same thing as Flame of Frenzy, but an upgraded version. So technically, if you look at it that way, if you did a madness build, you'd only be using 3 of those incantations, because the other one's just an upgraded version of the first. Anyways, as you head up from the graveyard, get over here to the battlements, jump down, Stone Sword Key. Now, look in here. We don't have a damn thing left. In fact, we've even done the tunnel. So let's go ahead and jump over to Bellum Church and, go ahead and end this episode on a high note. So we're going to give her the fingerprint grape, and we will not see her again until after the Capitol. Underneath the Capitol, there's a very, very hidden area, which leads to probably the most secret trophy ending in the game, hands down. And that's where we're going to see her. She's going to give us the fingerprint seal. And her quest will come to an end. So she's all set. We don't need to do anything else with her until the end of the game. So because of that, we're going to jump on over to the Scenic Isle and get ready for next episode. So next episode will be the bottom of the lake. Now what we're going to do as far as my notes go, because we do want to go to Altus Plateau to do various quests offline, and just in case that does trigger something, which it probably won't, but just in case it does, because it might. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I can't find what triggers the Radon Festival, what I've done. I mean, I never rested, and I've had it trigger, so I don't know. But what we're going to do to be safe, so we can go to Altus to do various quests offline and help everyone, is we're going to do the whole bottom half of the lake, pretty much like up to here. After we do the whole bottom half, we're going to do Varus Quest. But before we can even, well, we'll do the whole bottom half of the lake and stop right before Varus Quest. Then we're going to go down here, and we're going to go ahead and knock out Redmane Castle. Then we'll do Varus Quest, which is going to send us to Altus Plateau, where we can actually grab some good weapons for a few different classes too. But the reason we're doing this is because if we take out this castle and we happen to trigger Radon, it will not matter. All that triggering the Radon Festival means is you have to fight Radon over here before you are able to actually do the castle itself. And there is a legendary ornament there you need for your trophy. So if you don't do it, you won't get your trophy. But whether you trigger the Radon Festival or not does not matter, because you just beat the boss and then do the castle. You know what I mean? But just to be safe, we'll have one episode doing the bottom of the lake. Then we'll take out Redmane Castle and do Varus Quest before moving to the west coast. But that's just to let you guys know kind of progression stance of what we're going to be doing next. So either way, we are going to wrap up here. You guys stay tuned. We'll be back here next episode to do Lower the Arnia.